All right, we're here for our final match of the night here for our week 2 OTJ league, and we got a couple of league heavyweights here duking it out. We got Beatdown Bringer, who is madly drifting his cursor over his hand of only one land, probably in frustration, up against a recent league winner, now 4 times, I think, which is a record co-held by him and his partner in that league, Daniel G. We got Jordan. So what's going on over there?
We got a bit of Naya action going on with a plains, mountain, and forest in the hand with a Vault Surge. The Cactatalk Sentinel, whatever this guy's called, the Voracious Varmin, the Spineless Paladin, and a Quilled Charger drawn for the turn.
Sounds like
What's Dan working with after
sounds
them all?
sounds like big green stuff. Yeah, we got a bit of a brew here on our hands here with Dan. He did have to mulligan the first hand. He's and then he put it back for more on the bottom, but he's got another back for more in hand. So he's got a Golgari card. He's got Lila, undefeated Slickshot, which is an Is It card. He's got a Solemn Simulacrum, and then he's got a Make Your Own Luck, which is what he's going to need to cast all the spells in his hand.
Well, this is going to be Vault Charge on the stack.
That makes sense. All right.
I mean, Jordan's hand is looking well equipped to deal with anything, so he can run out the 4/4 here if he so chose to, but he's going to choose to plot the 5/4 and probably run out the 4/4 next turn
Yeah,
to give it
so
haste and trample.
unfortunately, no castable spells here for Dan. He's got an Is It card, a Simic card, and a 6-drop back for more. So he's in a bit of a bind here. He does need to find an island to stay in this game. Otherwise, this cactus is going to cause him a lot of pain, and the pain's already coming here with the plotted paladin smacking in. So
Hey, Jordan.
he is in very big danger, and his draw here, while castable, is not going to get him out of this particular situation.
Jordan's got more power coming down with a Quill Charger, or he could just bring Hell to Pay.
I think you can just play the charger and give that haste and
I,
attack
I
for
think so too.
lethal for almost lethal and both well everything that's not the cactus will gain trample. So this could be one of our quicker games that we've seen here.
You guys, Jordan, trying to think like we have anything in hand to stop this attack. He was about to just slam the Charger down, but now he's giving it just a bit more thought.
I mean, look, he's a player that definitely will come to the right decision. I'm confident of that. His track record speaks for
He says,
itself. I mean, I looked at the standings today. Boom, there he is, 7-2.
yeah, he says, hey, you know what? I'm a believer in the straight hands everyone on the server preaches about,
Yeah.
and he's bringing it.
And I mean, Dan himself, I think I saw he was 5-4, so not doing too bad. And yeah, he's got a bit of a four color mishmash here. He's got green black with some red and blue cards here, but definitely still a green black base. But he did have 2 splash cards in hand, and Jordan just put the pressure. He just played a coherent strategy. Did he play any white cards that game? I don't think
No, since
so.
I'm looking at the
It
sideboard,
must be
this
just
deck
green
looks
red with
cracked.
must be just green red with maybe some mystical tethers or some gold white gold cards or something.
Close enough. Eartha, I believe, no, it's Bruce, Outlaws, Merriment, and 2 Journey Millers. That would be the splash.
Isn't that?
But I mean,
I
like,
think that's exactly what I said. Basically,
was
removal,
pretty much
removal,
a
and
mystical
gold
tether,
cards.
but
Yeah,
a journey.
same. Yeah,
Yeah, you said gold cards, and sure enough, it
yeah.
was on point for the most part.
Well, I mean,
But I mean, like,
Jordan's not going to mess around too much with his crazy builds. I mean, once in a while we see him take a bit of a dive, but that's usually only if the pool dictates it. You know,
we have to remember though, this is a 7-2 record, and I mean, like, the curve looks beautiful. He's got what, like 14 drops in here, 3 from the saddles, 2 varmints, good top end, and the armadillo, which helps splash. The paladin, 2 chargers. Like, the deck looks solid. And he's only at 2 losses, so this just gets scarier as
imagine,
the losses start wrapping
imagine Jordan making a deep run. Wow,
in.
unheard of. But
I mean, today he's the underdog today.
yeah, I was about to say, people they said, you know what, this guy he has to lose at some point, right? He just absolutely must lose at some point, and people put their faith in the beatdown bringer, and he's the money wise the favorite here. So he's but unfortunately another one lander has to get sent to the bottom, and now he's got a 2 lander with no green. Um, so pretty unfortunate state of affairs here. He's gonna put
Jordan's
he,
not
like
going to be
he's gonna put his hard bristle bandit on the bottom, which is not what you want to do when you're starting end. You want that hard bristle in play on turn 2, but He's not going to have that option here. What's Jordan working with?
He's gonna have access to all colors with this dual land on the field, and
Okay.
then three mountains, journey to nowhere. Probably gonna hit this Bronco, the Great Train Heist, the Hellspur Posse Boss, a Thrown from the Saddle. Then he just drew the uh, the 4/4 Sentinel for turn.
Yeah,
So the hand's looking extremely good.
yeah. Dan must be, he probably a little upset here. He says, "Well, this Bronco can get me back in the game, but unfortunately, this Journey to Nowhere." So he has drawn a Lush Oasis now, which means he can cast his Floriferous Vine Wall next turn, which can find him another land. He does have a bit of an interesting card in hand. I think I remember what it does. It's the Abyssal Gorestalker. I think it was from
LCI,
LCI, 6 mana, 6/6. Each player
both
sacrifices
players
two
have two creatures.
creatures.
Yep.
That wasn't a very played card, but black was not a popular color in that format. So I don't know if Dan has
Yeah, the spell
found
for
found the magic solve to make this card great. But let's hope we see it do something here today. At least this game is going to be a bit more competitive.
I'm gonna take a bit of a beating here. So Jordan still does have the Sentinel, which can give
The cactus,
haste and
yeah,
yeah.
the sure shot, right? Cactus sure shot.
Yep, and he still has the Hell Posse boss as a follow up for another turn. Just drew
Oh,
Contagious Vorak.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Dan's got
he's
his
got
mana
tons
worked
of
out, but
options.
he's got not much to do with it. Um,
The scary thing is this great train heist in about 3 to 4 turns, maybe even sooner, could just become a win con for Jordan.
yeah, I mean, if Dan gets a land here, he actually gets to kill both of these creatures with his Gore Stalker, and he'll lose just these useless little idiots here, the 4/4 and the 2/2 and the 0/2, and he won't miss them
I'm trying to remember.
whatsoever.
Is the Gore Stalker a 6/6?
I believe so. Oh, he does. He has the
Let's take a look
armadillo.
at
Silly me. He gets to cast it. I don't remember its stats exactly, but I know it's large. So he has the armadillo, which guarantees the land, which means he does get to kill both these creatures and maybe set Jordan back a bit since he missed the
that. I mean, it's
land.
going to be a little bit of a setback. Though the thing to note though is Jordan does have the Hellspur Posse boss, so he can in about 2 turns deal with the 6/6
It
by buffing up one of his
is
other
it
creatures
is
and then throwing from the
indeed
saddle.
a 6/6. So he's making this card look great here. This is the best Gore Stalker I've ever seen, but I can't say I've seen many in the past. But it's kind of exactly what he needed here. Turn the tide a bit.
So let's
I mean,
see.
Dan's got a consuming ashes here. He can just knock off this posse boss if he feels like the board's getting a bit too big.
What does he have again?
He has consuming ashes. He is just going to cast his Lila here, and he does have a snakeskin veil as his other second card in hand.
Oh, that's going to be quite some trouble here. So Jordan's going to see if he can
Ooh,
find one more green.
I like a
That
Vorak.
way he can buff up the Vorak
We get to
and then throw
see
from the saddle.
we get to see all the pushed 3 mana 3/3 commons today. The Jewel Thief earlier, and now
Uh,
this boar.
the Vorak was quite the hitter for his time.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, it's not an outlaw, so it won't have haste.
Let's see. I guess Jordan's thinking if he wants to play one of his 2 drops or attempt to go for the kill on the 6/6.
I think he's gonna try for the kill. It must be. No, he doesn't have
I
enough.
don't
He doesn't have enough
know.
power though.
Yeah, it has to be on the 3/3 if he were going to go for that line. I guess he's going to go for some damage here.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough.
Maybe
He doesn't
just
have
kill on
enough.
the
He does
three
not have
drop.
enough power for that. But he is gonna go for an attack, and I was gonna say sure.
I mean, this is also another fine line because the 6/6 doesn't have trample. So I mean, he can just chump it and kind of just like work his hand out.
Yeah, he can. I mean, he did tap his 1/1s here, so he's limited his options. But okay, he does have a peddler here, and he can.
Yeah, I think he's just going to sack the peddler. Maybe get rid of the varmint in the hand.
Yeah, environment not really good against these colors.
Yeah. Then outside of the snake skin, what else does Dan have?
He has consuming ashes, and he's drawn a mirage mesa, so he has a removal spell here, so he can pretty safely attack with both. Okay, let's see if Dan wants the consuming ashes here, just for an extra. It'll be an extra damage with his Lila.
I can't think he wants to go for that line here. Just
Yeah,
doesn't
so
seem
I'm
too
not
good.
sure exactly what Lila offers. I haven't seen any multicolored instant or sorceries. I know in draft I like pairing it up with Slick Sequence and Hypothesis. Well, those are really nice. Maybe he's got. I know he has back for more. He has two back for more in his deck and make your own luck. So I could see Lila being pretty cool.
Oh, Jordan's got to think he has in hand here. Oh,
I,
huh.
I mean, he has the Consuming Ashes here, so he can and he can pay for ward if he wants to hit the 4/4.
I guess it really just depends on how Jordan does this attack. I'm surprised he's not just swinging everything though, but I guess he might think Dan has something with Flash.
Yeah, I mean, 6 mana could be putting him on Gigapede perhaps, or just like a removal spell. Let's see what he decides to do. I mean, Jordan's got he's got a lot more resources here. I mean, Dan's got a bit more of the life total advantage here, but Jordan's got a few resources to work with, lots of pieces in play, and more cards at hand.
What do you think about firing off the ashes here?
I mean, he doesn't need to. I think he would only absolutely feel like he needed to fire it off if Jordan played a creature that would get haste, but obviously he did not.
Yeah, it feels like it's gonna set Dan back just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he exiles that. He leaves his Jasper Flint on top. Does Jordan have an answer for, well, any of this, including Jasper?
No. Well, I
Okay.
mean, like Jordan has a throw from the saddle, right? But I
Yeah,
mean,
there's a snakeskin
Dan,
now.
yeah.
All right. So if the 6/6 isn't going to get it done, the Jasper most certainly will here.
And then don't forget, Jordan does have a great train heist still in hand.
And that's a sneaky card. That is a card that will just hit you out of nowhere and it'll hit you real hard.
Yeah.
And Jordan is gonna find the right time to do it. He's gonna know when to do it. Me, I'd just be sitting there like trying to do math and figuring do I do it this turn, do I do it that turn, and then I don't do it and I miss my opportunity and lose the game. But he will not. He'll find whatever window he has to use it. I think whether it's
Well, the window's going to be in a few turns
yeah,
because we're about to get a snakeskin.
yep. And this means Jasper gets to look at some cards from the opponent's deck next turn. Um,
Now,
I assume Lila is an outlaw. I know the Forsaken Miner is. So looking like it's going to be 2 or 3 cards.
hmm, what's the play here, Jordan? What's the play? This 6/6 has done a really good job on stabilizing Dan. So I mean, like, it's
Yep.
doing what it's intended to do, right?
Oh yeah, I mean he's playing his main deck. It wasn't like he sided in or anything, and it worked out perfectly because he had two completely disposable creatures and killed two real threats with it. I think this is like the ideal way to use this card. I think unfortunately most of the time the card's not going to play out as we saw it play, but it's looking real hot here. I can tell you that much.
You normally have to give up like some real things, or you have to go 1 for 2, right?
I mean, yeah, you could just play it on an empty board and it's just you know it dies, but two of their things do. And I mean, it's just the situations. The average situation for the card is, I think, worse than most people would want it to be. But he's making it work. He's made it work tonight, and maybe it was more format dependent for LCI since it was so a bit more fast and a lot more pressure, and you have a bit more time here. So maybe this is where we see it shine.
I guess Jordan's trying to think. He's looking at the Great Train Heist now, trying to think, is there any way he can kind of crack this board state?
Yeah, I mean, he can only really. I mean, he if he pumps up the Hellspur, he's gonna pump that one. Doesn't give trample, does it? The Great Train.
I don't believe so. I believe it gets first strike,
So Dan
an
just
extra
says,
combat
"I'll
step.
block and I'll take whatever it is." He says, "I'll get whatever it is out of your hand. It's fine." But
We'll choose 2 combat steps.
yeah, so now he has all these attackers. Um,
Really, it's just still just the 8/5, right?
Yeah, he can't really attack with anything else. Um, can he take the damage here? Unlikely. He says, "Let me get in with this." Okay, he says, "I want it all." Because if he attacks like this, the 8/5 has to be chumped.
8/5 on the 4/4. Jasper blocks the
The
three
3/4, and he
four.
still takes 6, and
Yeah, which
he's
is
gonna have to. I mean, this does leave him dead to like any pump.
it'll also leave less options for Jasper, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's one less card he gets to look at, I believe. But he does have 7 damage here in play. So let's see what Jasper can find. Well, that'll do it. I will use your
Surprise!
own card. I will trash the town and trash your life total along with it. All right, well,
I mean, it was definitely a good play from Jordan's side to try and crack that board as much as possible.
yeah, he went for the play that is most likely to win him the game rather than how do I stay alive and not die. And like like often my instinct is like how do I stay in the game? How do I not die next turn? And he's like, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. I might as well play to win and remove some of the board here and get in for a lot of damage. And it was the right process. But as Dan basically had three draw steps there. You know, one from uh, one from his deck and two from his opponents, and he found what he needed. So
I mean,
really,
great
really fun
maneuvering
display.
and luck towards the end.
Yeah. So the only spells to go with Lila that I see are the two back for more and make your own luck as well. 2 copies, but I mean that's kind of fun.
I mean, the upside is huge, right? If you get one of those,
Yeah.
like make your own luck, and what he allows you to cast it again for free.
Yeah. Well, make your own luck.
Like, it'll be
Yeah.
plotted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll cast. Yeah. Cast it again for. Well, you can plot it the next turn. Yeah. You can cast it as early as the next turn for 0. So yeah, pretty cool. Unfortunately, man, this Dan's hands tonight have just been brutal.
I
WTF?
mean,
Yep.
third time's the charm. Jordan's just
No,
going to keep
yeah,
it.
he just. It was a zero land. It was a zero lander this time.
Oof, that's rough.
Oh,
Is the
he's
second hand better?
well, no, he's gone from WTF all lowercase to now WTF all uppercase, capital letters.
Yikes. Well, I mean, while he figures his hand out, Jordan's got all of his colors: two mountains, plains, forest with the intrepid stablemaker, the rambling possum, and a spinewood armadillo
Any
that can
removal?
come down. No removal. Why? Is there Jasper?
Yeah, we got a vine wall. We don't have a turn 3 Jasper because of the mana situation here, but we could have a turn 4 Jasper. So we got vine wall's gonna
Well,
find a land here. We have a patient naturalist as a play for next turn. Alternatively, he could take the black red tap land, but I think he just wants to be able to play something next turn rather than play a tap land.
I mean, it's not the worst. So Jordan's only drawn lands for the last two turns. So
Okay.
the only castable thing left in hand is the armadillo, but that's coming down in 2 turns.
Okay. I mean, oh, Namada goes into the graveyard. That's
Is that a Was that Namada or Bonnie?
it's Namada from DMU,
Okay,
the one
I
where you
love that
you get
card.
1/1 saplings, and when your opponent's creatures die and they get exiled instead.
Oh, it's pretty
And
good.
then I
Those
believe
are
you
one of
I
my
believe
favorite
you
little
could
cards.
sacrifice saplings to pump it up a bit. Anyway, it
Yeah,
was a real good one.
you can pump, and then what? You can sacrifice them also to draw cards.
I think so. Anyway, it's in the graveyard now, but yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that card. I do remember the main thing I remember is that opponent's creatures get exiled and you get 1/1s, which is just very strong effect. So, do we have an answer for Jasper here? Or?
No, remember, there's just lands and an
Okay,
armadillo. There are no answers to Jasper, but there are just straight hands in this hand.
so Dan is thinking, he's putting himself in Jordan's head. He said, well, Jordan wouldn't do anything if he didn't have some instant speed removal. His hand can't just be lands and 5 and 6 drops, or really 6 drops because he had 5 mana. But apparently his hand was all that. So he said, I don't want to play
Well,
Jasper out into the first removal. I'll put out Bronco as a bait maybe to get killed, and then Jasper can come after.
we'll see if Jordan falls for it because Jordan just drew throw from the saddle. So he has the option of just playing a 7/7 or throwing from the saddle and just going for some more damage.
It's got to be 7/7, right?
I would think so 2. We'll just have to see what Jordan thinks about the situation.
Well, he's won twice as many leagues as either of us, so he knows what to do. Yeah, 7-7 comes
Yeah,
down.
which is
Sadly,
feels good, right?
sadly, one turn before Dan has drawn the binding negotiation here. So he's drawn a binding negotiation, and
I mean,
sadly,
the word 3 is a tall ask.
yeah. I mean, this gets the removal out. I mean, Jasper can be in the clear now, and without a cactus to give the 7-7 trample, Dan's got time here. He's definitely got time. He's,
Well, it feels like most of the creatures are going to be on chump duty for quite some time.
yeah. Well, the thing is, Jasper is gonna get to work here. There's one other. The naturalist can't be an outlaw now. It's a druid, I believe, or something. It's a druid or a shaman or something. But the bandit is a rogue, so he's got two here. Um, you know, he's just gonna yeah. He says I'm gonna do what I can do, which is attack you. You can do the fun stuff. I can do. Do we know why he bounced it? Just as a blocker, or yeah, okay,
It makes the most sense, right? I mean, like his
yeah.
hand is
He's got
just two
nothing else
mountains
going
right
on,
now.
so
Yeah.
yeah. This is an interaction that always annoys me. The fact that if you have a hard bristle bandit, because because it only gets untapped once a turn. It'll trigger during your upkeep where you're usually unable to cast spells. But this time he actually was able to use the mana.
I wonder
So
if he goes for the
he's
block.
got an awkward Lila here, but he can cast it. So
Do you think he punches with the Bronco this turn?
he was about to crew it or saddle it. Sorry. Um, I think he says yes. You know what? I'm good. Let's go.
You figure Jasper's not blocking.
Oh well. Sadly, he low rolled here on the damage.
I mean, Jordan does have some good draws to kind of like push the issue further.
All right, so another outlaw notably here. Looks like patient naturalist
So
knows what to do.
yeah, Jordan drew a Thunder Salvo. So if he gets another piece of action, I would assume the line of play is going to be play creature, kill Jasper. This is already too much value.
Yeah, and I mean this 7-7, he needs to leave something back basically every turn, but he's just gonna get the pick of the deck here. See, well, okay, well that's a card.
I
Okay,
can't quite see it. Well, never mind. I can see it
oh,
now.
it's the Outlaws Merriment. Yeah, it's yeah. So it was two lands and an Outlaws Merriment. So you hate to see just lands there, but you love to see the Outlaws Merriment as the one non-land. And he said, "I'm not going to attack. I
Oh my
I know what
gosh.
Jordan has. He has the cactus. He has a lot of stuff. I'm gonna leave all my creatures behind to potentially block. And I mean that's a bit awkward to show up here.
Well, he also has a Thunder Salvo for the Jasper. So just like that, the board state is going to completely flip.
Yeah, I mean he's still gonna get some advantage from this Outlaws Merriment, but his source of absurd amount of card advantage is now gone.
Yeah.
So we saw in the previous match, Outlaws Merriment when you're behind it's just okay. It's
I
there's
mean,
not much you
especially
can
with
do.
the 7/7, right?
So he's drawn his own Spinewood's Armadillo, but the Snakeskin Veil looms large over the coming combat.
Well, the good news is he knows it exists, right?
Yeah, but it still
So he
looms
can always just
large.
double block.
Or he could jump block, but let's see. Yeah, and Bruce can't really attack either to get the card advantage because of the Armadillo. So see how this goes.
What is the play here? What is the play? Are you going to just swing all out? Just swing an armadillo, leave the armadillo back?
Well, what would be the? Why would he? Not sure he would want to attack with Bruce. I mean, just how? I guess he. I don't. He's at 19 life. I don't think he feels like he needs to throw away Bruce for a card.
I don't think so either. But remember, he's won 2 more leagues than both of us.
There you go. So Dan has made the completely sensible block. Um, he said, "Let me just use this here." Okay, it's a 5/4 now. And now we're cooking with the Outlaws merriment here. So only just a land here for Dan, but he does have this captivating cave that can put two counters
Ooh,
on
two
something.
counters.
So I mean, I imagine that's something he might want to use. The only problem is that it's his source of both blue and red. So I don't think he can sacrifice it because if he draws a blue and red card, it's just uncastable.
I mean, I feel like right now he just wants to chill, make sure Bruce can't get in.
Okay, so Bruce is gonna go here, make a 2/2, and yeah, Outlaws Merriment holding down the fort here.
I mean,
And there's
that's
and
the
there's the make your
7/7's
own
been
luck.
dealt with.
Ooh, now the
Oh
game has
my!
turned. And Jordan says, "I can't
Wow!
beat this." He says, "I don't even need to see that you're taking a clear shot. I just got lands, and I can't beat six free cards, or well, four cards drawn and two free spells, and one of them was going to be a clear shot." So, congratulations to Dad. I guess this is technically the first favorite, I guess, as far as the bets go to win. So,
Yeah.
congratulations, and we'll see everybody back next week.